host if we need. Hi, Claire.
Awesome. Hey, Claire. Cool. So we're live on Zoom. And today, for Eat and Greet, we wanted to welcome Anna Massie, all the way out of Sydney.
Hi.
Hi. So it's been ages since actually the three of us sat and chatted and, you know, unpicked businesses and business brains and got all excited and got all, interested in what everyone was doing. So why don't we start so that we can share who you are with the Smart Chicks community and ask you, who's Anna? So tell us a little bit about, you know, your life to now, what's gotten you to where you are now.
Okay, hi. Can you all hear me? I just hear like waves, really. It's really static, but anyhow, we'll make it work. So when I first spoke to Court and Kirsty, what was it, January? If it's, I've forgotten. Is it aware September now?
Like,
so
it was baby days of Smart Chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So like, high five to you guys. Look how far you've come. It's amazing. I'm like blown away, to be honest. So very, very well done. And I won't lie, since we talked, my life has changed like 360 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be back when you started. You need a full 180.
So
the internet connection might be dropping. Do you know what we might need to do? I'm wondering if we mute Anna.
Okay, she's back.
Is she?
It is cutting in and out a bit though.
No.
I wonder if her phone internet would be better.
Okay, bear with us, guys. We're just going to try and sort out the technical issue.
When we first started talking, I was going down the path of.
That's right. Now she's reading your messages.
Let's just switch. Okay, looks like she's dropped out. Okay, guys, just bear with us.
Is that? I'm back.
Yeah.
Do you think that's me? Do you think that's me?
Yeah.
No.
I think it's you.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, let's try here. If it drops out again, I'll jump on my mobile.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
That's fine.
But can you hear me all okay now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, quick about me. Yeah. So I was going down the hardcore. I'm going to be this business coach, and one of my biggest dreams, I guess, has been over the last couple of years was to get on radio. And I did work experience when I was 17 in a radio station. A family friend of ours is like a really big name guy in radio in Brisbane. And ever since that day, I was always like, wow, I love it. And yeah, anyhow, 20 years later, no, not 20 years later, like 15 years later, I've made it reality by getting our podcast up and going.
Yeah.
Called the Ladies Lounge podcast. Now, I guess that has been the biggest turning point. Can I add the nuggets and all that sort of stuff in anywhere through this discussion?
Absolutely.
Is that all right? Yeah. So
I would actually like, just before you.
This is nugget.
Right now, I want to talk a little bit more about your journey up until now. So we know you've been in business for a while and you've had some success in other businesses before you've kind of completely changed what you're doing. So tell us a little bit about
okay.
podcast.
The last 5 years or so. Look, I started a babysitting business at 14, and by the time I was 21, I was placing babysitters and nannies all throughout Brisbane. And that was just purely, I fell into it. I have a sibling that had special needs, and it was kind of all I knew how to do was to look after kids. And through that, I guess I became my relationships and trust and all of those sorts of things became really important. So I did uni, went into corporate life, and then I moved overseas at 24, traveled the world as a nanny all overseas, and then came back and went back to corporate life in Brisbane. And while I was in this, I was working for Trans-Pacific Industries. And it was when the big companies were really having to think about how to get women back to work. They set up like an organization. I can't remember what it's called, but it was all focused on how do we get more women back to work. And I was sitting in like the C-suite of this big corporate, and I'm like, this just doesn't make sense that all these big companies, they need more women, but they're not facilitating them with other options than childcare centres. And childcare centres are still expensive. They don't give the flexibility, etc., that women need. So I came up with a nanny agency called The Corporate Kid, and it was aimed at helping corporates empower more women to get back to work by providing them with nanny services. So I began that about 3 years ago. Moved from Brisbane to Sydney to build it down here, to get really into the heads of all the big companies down here. And I pushed and I pushed and I pushed, and I made it all happen slowly. But about 12 months ago, my passion died and I hit burnout. And it was very successful in, I was doing it all on my own. I was sourcing and placing nannies all over Australia. But I learned a lot with how to deal with big companies when you're just this small little guy. And I think that was probably the point in me where I was just like, I don't think I have the energy to do this anymore. I have the skills, I have the contacts, but to actually get leeway, it takes so much longer than what you think.
Yeah. Which is
so I went
on its own, like in regards to
yeah.
As long as what you're doing is your passion, understanding that it takes longer than you think.
Yeah, and I think the biggest learning out of that, I sat there for a long time, and I'll be really honest on this, because I want people to realize that business is not an overnight success. It doesn't happen easily. You've got to put your blood, sweat and tears into it, and that's why I'm like, you guys are amazing what you've achieved in such a short period of time. But I went through a massive point where I was like, I've failed, and I just kind of hibernated for a while, because I had to realize, was it that my passion had died? Was it the fact that the business essentially wasn't at the standard that I had hoped? All those sorts of things. And I think we have to look at how we build a business and what we term successful. It doesn't just necessarily mean the financial dollars. I had sourced hundreds of nannies all over Australia, and to me that wasn't good enough at the time. Now I'm totally cool with it, and I realize it was very successful in that respect, but at the time it was hard to accept. So then the last sort of year has been, what's my next journey? And I actually was still nannying myself through a lot of the time and change. And then finally earlier this year doing business coaching, and I started to get into it last year, and I went, I've actually got a very good business brain. Why aren't I helping people through seeing their mistakes in their own businesses? Because when we are so ingrained, it is really hard to see outside the box. I think we also become very protective, and we don't really want to take on other people's point of view, or we think our way is the only way, because we are so stuck when it gets tough. And so then I started to look around, and I started helping a lot of girls through the business issues that they were going through. And in amongst all of that, some amazing people walked into my life, and everything turned around. And I won't lie, I did this Embodied Woman's program, and it was the best thing I did. It cracked me open. I had been doing the meditating all year, but I was like, oh, I can't see any difference in life really. And then I did this program with a girl called Jen Ward. She's a kinesiologist on the Sunshine Coast. Highly recommend going and doing her course. And it was just the turning point. And so I said, literally in like the space of a week, I said goodbye to nannying. I started doing Uber driving to get my confidence back.
Yeah.
I was really kind of down, I guess, from I just lost my confidence because I'd had so much change. So I tried Uber. Best thing ever. Go do it. If you need an extra income stream, everyone I coach, I tell them to get into it, leave the corporate job and start it.
Love
it. It's seriously, you can get clients that way. You network, you get your confidence back. And the other thing with it is if you do it at the right times, you're dealing with business people. So you're dealing with the right energy of people that you need all the time. And then if you're a female, they want to know why you're driving. So it's an automatic talking point because hardly no females drive.
Yeah.
So I started doing that, and then just the right one-on-one consulting clients came to me. But at the same time on my podcast, we interviewed a girl that kind of was a friend, and she was like, I need some serious help in my business. So I now act as like innovation and growth marketing person to her, which is, I won't lie, I'm bloody loving having a salary after not having one for such a long time. But then around it all, I've built a job where I have flexibility to do whatever I want outside.
Great.
So I still do coaching. I do nanny as well. I have one family with some boys and the parents like to travel a lot, so I can do that. I work from home. And I'm in a position where I actually could lead this company into bigger stuff. So when you talk about that long-term vision, I guess this was my vision from a young age of being a manager, building a big business, but all around lifestyle and vision. And it's all just fallen in my lap.
Voila.
But it's been hard work.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really courageous thing to admit when something is not feeling right for us. We've been saying a little bit lately, do you feel heavy or do you feel light when you think about what you're doing? And when it's just kind of that gut instinct is niggling and it just feels it feels heavy and it doesn't feel right. Sometimes we fight against that for a while, and until we really actually decide to pivot and let that go, we're going to be stuck, aren't we? So all the great things come when you finally do let it go.
Yeah, I sat in that place for 18 months, to be honest. And I've sort of been reflecting a bit lately, and I was really depressed. I had no life. I was so unhappy trying to, we create this, I think when we think of a business idea and our heart and life goes into it, you throw everything into it for such a long period of time. And at some point it's like, if it's not working, just let it go. And I actually went to an event where Mark Boris spoke 2 weeks ago, and we asked him a question, and we said, because some people that we've been interviewing on our podcast, we're really picking up how unhappy they are in these businesses. But your business is a representation of you. It's a reflection of everything that you've done. So of course you don't want to show people that it's not happening anymore and that your passion has died.
Yeah.
And on my side, I had the fact of, I'd been nannying for 15 years, so it's okay to let it go. But Boris said, if you're just throwing money at something and, it's not actually really happening and to the level that you would like it to, and you've given it a good enough shot, then you're stupid to stick at it because there's always another thing.
Yeah.
You've got to follow the happy, don't you? It's like follow the happy. and the right people come. When you're feeling like crap and you put that out to the universe, then you become a crap magnet, right? So you can put out the positive because you are engaging with people that are like-minded and you're following the things that light you up, then it's just going to be like a snowball effect. The right people will come to you. It just has to happen.
Totally. And as soon as I'm going to really swear, but as soon as I stopped giving a fuck about what everyone else thought, I was like, you know what? I'm fine with this. But for so long, and I think this is the problem with kind of doing some of these big courses, is that you get fed the facade, the bullshit. And everyone knows that we met via Entourage, don't they?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think the community do, but that doesn't.
So we've known each other. Okay, well, we've known each other for a long time. And I won't lie, doing that course, I was like, fuck, if I go do this course, I'm just going to become like them. And it's not like that at all. And I've started to actually be able to talk with Jack Deloiser a little bit about, like, that overnight success is not like that at all. And unfortunately, these big courses, you get in there and you're like, oh my God, I'll throw every spare cent at it and I'll be like them in 6 months' time. But they're not even like that. It takes them years.
Success took 15 years.
10 years. So I now come at life, I've totally changed my approach, and I'm like, you know what, just chip out at it bit by bit by bit. Slow is way better than overnight.
Yeah.
And that way, you know, you're going to build like something that's profitable long term. It's going to have all the right wheels and mechanics. Plus, with the way business is now, you can systemize it the right way, time manage it the right way. You can be that full-time mum and full-time businesswoman. That to me is like the super success and sexy woman. So very different approach to how I began my business journeys. And I don't know if this is it forever, but I'm keen to sit sort of still, which I think is very hard for us creative entrepreneurs. But I want to sit in one place for like the next 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5 years.
Something. That's what.
You heard it here, people.
But it's so
which
true.
is going to be hard. I picked up everything in my life for like the last sort of, probably 10 years. I've been like this 2-year person where I do something for 2 years, switch, do another thing for 2 years, switch. You know, from where I've lived to the jobs to the men, everything. And I just went far out, sit still. And also my energy has changed. I'm really excited about growth and, you know, if I'm in a position to build a business globally, even though I think mentally I had that with my nanny agency, but also I had the wrong mentors there to help me think that they're all men. And so they're like world domination. We don't work like that.
No.
Now my mind's totally changed on how you create it.
Yeah.
So again, sorry?
I was just going to say, and, you know, I was listening to a couple of podcasts, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I was listening to a couple of podcasts this week or last week, and that was exactly what they were talking about, and I really resonated with that I've always felt that masculine energy and the masculine way of running businesses can be very successful for a masculine energy, but for women, realistically, we operate in ebbs and flows energetically, and sometimes we need to rest, sometimes we need to hustle, sometimes we need to not do anything for 2 weeks, sometimes we need to not sleep 3 days in a row. Like, that's just the way that it goes. And energetically, it is very tiring to just hustle for like 5 years. We get burnt out. That's just a fact.
Yeah. And I mean,
and just the 4 a.m. pub, we're in the 4 a.m. pub when we're feeding our kids at 4 a.m.
Yeah. And
you know what? Sorry, go Kirsty.
All I was going to say is, I mean,
I was just going to say I zoned on my chakras, which we'll get into. I zoned in on my chakras, and that has enabled me to become part of this 4 a.m. club. And I've always been an early person, but if you can start to align your chakras, everything will start to open, and then you'll have that more consistent balance in where your energy is, your time, your creativity. And look, I don't have kids at my hips like a lot of you guys do, and my hat goes off to you, but I have to juggle that masculine and feminine energy, because I am awake at 4, go, 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 go. I'm not the nighttime person, but I'm all about productivity. And then I have to go, no, I want to be the sexy feminine businesswoman, not the hardcore bolchy one. And so that's another thing I think we have to be careful of.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it's who you hang out with as well. Now, Anna, we have seen you lately on the Ladies Lounge podcast. I've been stalking you on Facebook quite a lot, and you've actually been interviewing a lot of people consistently that I know, which is hilarious. And it's people that I wouldn't have known that would be a mutual friend, like people that I went to school with or people that I worked with like 10 years ago or whatever. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, the Ladies Lounge, as I mentioned, I'd always wanted to be on radio. So it'd been something in my mind. And Emma, who is my co-host, we actually met via her boyfriend that did Entourage with us. And Emma had a ballet school and I had a nanny agency. And her boyfriend always used to go, you guys need to chat. Anyhow, look, cut a long story short, she has changed my world, but we didn't actually really become super close until about 6 months ago. And I took her to one of Francesca Moy's events, who's the meetup queen. And I met Francesca at the beginning of the year, and by going to one of her meetups, and
okay, the connection is a little bit weak again, guys.
Sounds gone glitchy.
Oh no, your internet isn't.
And I can see.
Wait for it.
That's right. She'll come Sorry about the internet, guys. Sometimes technology is awesome and sometimes it is a pain in the butt.
Oh, do you know, this has actually been the story of our week, hasn't it, Kirsty? There's been a bit of glitch happening.
I know.
Mercury retrograde, is that what we'll blame it on?
Yeah, that's right. And a Massie.
Maybe Zoom is having a moment. Okay, so Anna's just dropped out. We'll just see, we'll see. Hopefully she comes back.
And one thing I was going to say just before, I think business is very much like having a child in regards to, they don't get to 18 overnight. And we have to grow through all the different stages. And just when we think we're on top of one part, they change again and they change again. And so even, here she is back on with the phone. So it is always an evolving, human being, and that's what a business is. So sometimes you're changing business, but sometimes your business itself is changing and you're growing and learning and up leveling as it is. So whether you find that it's not the right one and you move on, or whether you have to sort of change the rudder to head in a different direction, it is sometimes just about remembering why you're doing what you're doing. I see Anna's back on her phone now, so
sorry.
That's
okay. This is a lot better.
Yeah, so it'll be better.
That you and Anna met Francesca, and at the beginning of the year, you met Francesca at one of her meetup events. That's what we got up to.
Yeah. So then Emma and I sat down and we were like, oh, let's do something together, thinking we would just go straight into events. And we were literally sitting on my couch at home. And I went, look, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a really long time. And she was like, okay, let's do it. And that was it. We literally we gas bagged for a full day. So then we had to organize another day, and we got it going, and we were like, okay, brand, this is it. What do we want it to be about? Okay, we want to inspire other women to get out there and have a go and sort of let people know that everything that it takes to get a business going. And then we just sort of started contacting all these people that we knew. Obviously, a lot of mine were entourage people, and and then it's just been go, 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 go. And we've just made sure we've been consistent in the fact that we always want to try and do it face to face. We had to go learn all the technology. We had to, like, we've done it all ourselves, but we got a producer. We worked out how to run it really lean. We got Calendly on board and made everyone schedule in times. So we've done it, and we both, you know, have had pretty full-time other jobs going on. Emma's about to like launch a full-on online coaching program that she's written from scratch, and gone down to this lady in Melbourne to build it all out and all the funnels and everything. So, but when you're so passionate, you just make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think the thing was, she actually went away last week. So we kind of had this deadline where we were like, okay, we need to get super organized. And so we batched, and we have been interviewing between 6 and 9 people every week. And we have enough interviews now to get us through to about February. And then she's coming back in a few weeks' time, and we're going to actually do like a men in business series. So yeah, it's opening up so many doors, which one of them I'll give you a bit of an offer about in a while.
But that's the great thing, because you're networking while you're doing that. You're giving them exposure in doing that, but you're also learning about, I mean, that's why I love even the eat and greet, as casual as this is, to understand more about the actual story of the different people, and you know, and everybody learn a bit of the experience that they brought with them to where they are now. Everybody's story is so diverse, and everybody brings such different things to the table, and it opens up just, oh wow, I'll ask them about this, you know, once we get offline. And I mean, that's what Smart Chicks is all about, you know, really creating those connections between incredible, you know, human beings.
Yeah, it is. And I have always wanted to write a book called Network Like You're Nobody, and the power I am having from me, having these women come to my house, we have an hour chat. The gossip that I have is just out of this world. Yeah, and it's like it's so fun. And then, you know, we're giving all these amazing people so much exposure from it. And I think the other thing is it's making people feel or understand the value of themselves. We kind of get so stuck in business, and, you know, if you are in that place of it's so stressful, I'm just not enjoying it, the opportunity to get on a podcast or something goes, you know what, high five to you, you're doing so well, don't give up, kind of thing.
It gives the reflection, because it makes them because it makes them relive what they've done, and then go, oh, okay, you know what, I'm doing okay.
Yeah. And I think because of how we run it, people can be really open and raw, and that's what we like too. Everyone loves a good chat.
What? It also helps you to realise your worth in the industry when all these people are saying yes to you one after another to want to actually be interviewed by you. I think that it's probably good for your, you know, having said that you had come from a place where maybe you had lost a little bit of confidence, all of a sudden there's a whole group of really fantastic people that are just people. They happen to be successful, but they're people.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. There's no like, we're pretty selective, I guess, on who we get on, but so that there's no guard there. And we know that we want to have people that are going to make us laugh, that are going to be open, and that are, you know, going to be encouraging as well to our listeners.
Yeah.
So we're pretty, like we've got some pretty big men coming up, and they'll be really interesting. They're a bit very different, obviously, to what we've had so far. But again, they've got amazing stories, and I think that they're very open and honest about what it takes.
Yeah. And there really is a calling for authenticity with male entrepreneurs. We have found that just in the last few weeks, we've been attracting a lot of guys that are looking for something that is just authentic and kind of has more of a feminine energy about it, where they like to hustle, but they also like to hang out and have predominantly female people in their customer database, I guess. And there's been a shout out for a need for that, like just looking for somewhere where they can either voice who they really are honestly and authentically, and sometimes it takes hanging out with authentic female entrepreneurs to give them a platform to do that. So you guys are doing that, which is
cool. We are. And I think we want to, you know, highlight some of these amazing people that just sort of stand in the background and make stuff happen. It's important to do that. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming. If we were all a bit closer, like, well, we'll get you all involved, definitely. We can't get, we've got to get Zoom. Can you teach me how to work Zoom, and then we can
we'll
do those interviews?
Or we'll just fly to Sydney and come and visit you.
That's fine. Because that's the power of it. The reason this has worked is we get a photo with everyone.
Yeah, I've noticed. I've been stalking you. So tell us.
What's the name again?
Have you got an offer up your sleeve for the Smart Chicks Coterie, or possibly even the members as well, like an extra special offer for our members?
Well, should I quickly explain how I work with people?
Yes,
for anyone that wants to work one-on-one. So I've got a revive and review program that I do with people. It's only one-on-one, but it's probably more for a business that's like sort of 18 months, 2 years old to 4 years old. And you've kind of hit that plateau where you're a bit stuck and you're like, oh, okay, I'll tell you, I won't lie. The people that come to me, they've had every bloody coach under the sun tell them to go and do X, Y, Z, but the funnel just doesn't work. And so we go in, we take a step, we go in and we sort of think, quite often you need to simplify your business. We think the more programs, the more this, the more that, the more successful I'm going to be. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Simplicity is quite often a lot better. And that's what we do. We review and revive. So it's like one day we spend together and you explain who your market is, where what marketing you're actually doing too. That's another thing. You know, what programs, what price points, all that sort of stuff. And then we spend another day sort of reviving it, and a whole new plan unfolds. We think about, you know, what marketing you need to do to achieve building the different programs or services that you're in. And then the cool part is, on the ladies lounge, we're about to launch a 6-week plan. We haven't got it's pretty much get shit done for 2017. So we have obviously learned a lot in the last, Emma is like the queen of getting shit done, and I'm the queen of kind of knowing people. And when you combine that, the power that we've sort of had is how we've been able to make this happen all so quickly. And we want to put together this program where it's very valuable, I guess, to make sure people achieve their big goals and visions for next year, but then break it down to each quarter, and then, you know, the tasks, etc., and teach you the power of batching, teach you, you know, some systems and things. But you'll get a bit of one-on-one time with us all. So my offer is kind of a combination. Normally I only work one-to-one, but I want to do that one-to-one work, and then whoever comes and joins me on that will get first access into our replan for 2017. So it's kind of like the full board of, if you need some assistance in reviving and reviewing, I actually have, I don't know if I can show you this quickly, but I had a girl that I worked with last week, and this is what she came to me with, that she's been working on this business model for all year by someone telling her, go set these price points and this is the way it should all happen. And I won't go through it in too much detail, but this is what we've come up with. It's very simple. It's easy for her to manage. It's easy for her to go and make the changes. She's got a lot of that in place already, but yeah, so I guess the thing I've learned is the power of like online programs, building yourself online, but also my big thing is building a business that facilitates the lifestyle that you want to have. And the poor girl that I'm working with at the moment, she was like, she actually slept pretty much the whole time, apart from telling me what her current funnels and, you know, revenue streams are. And then I was like, okay, you need a rest. She was so burnt out from going like nonstop and just not making money. And then this is where the replan part comes in. That's really important. It's like, what do you need to make? I said to her, okay, next year, you're obviously going to need to have money in the bank. Do you want to have a holiday over Christmas, etc.? So it's like that planning for stuff to come. That's really important as well. And I think what we get into that sort of hard cycle of it's just dollar after dollar after dollar. There's no sight of the future apart from what our heart desires. And that's where the passion can then die if it gets too hard.
So it's about kind of visualizing what you want and then working backwards, reverse engineering that.
Yeah. And like she said to me, I really only want to work like 2 to 3 days a week. And I was like, well, the way this is all set up is wrong for you to be able to achieve that, because you've already got like 6 different programs going on. You can't make that happen. So, and all at the wrong price points for the upselling, etc. So yeah, that's what my sort of offer is. Normally I just do, you know, the one-on-one with me, but I'd love anyone that comes and works with me. You'll get first into our replan series, which I think we're kicking it off early November and it finishes about the week before Christmas. So it's like hardcore. You will know 2017 back to front.
Awesome. That's fantastic. But what we're going to do is we'll put the links and the information about working with Anna in the notes on YouTube, but we'll also pop that. Make sure you pop your promo in Promo Wednesday for Smart Chicks tomorrow, and then we'll make sure that the Smart Chicks Members Lounge gets access to that as well, so that they know what's going on. And Anna, how fantastic. We are so excited to have spoken to you. And for those of you who are on YouTube or our Members Lounge in like 2020 or whatever.
Hold on, I have 2 golden nuggets. Let me just quickly tell you this nugget. The first one is be clear on what success means to you and why. One of the biggest mistakes I made was like my success was take over the world, which isn't true. So that's the first thing. And then surround yourself with the right people. As soon as I got rid of the people that were pulling me down, my life changed.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
And that is exactly true. That's exactly right. And, you know, you've got to create the environment around you that you need to sort of move you forward. And that's, you know, that's the whole purpose of Smart Chicks as well. When Kirsty turned around one day and said, I just want to hang out with some smart chicks. Fast forward, here we are. So, Anna, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, thank you for hanging around and having a bit of a eat and greet lunch with us while we interview an amazing entrepreneur from the Smart Chicks community. And you'll find the recording on YouTube and also our Members Lounge once we've got that kind of sorted. So thank you, Anna. And
thank you.
Yeah, we'll chat to you real soon.
Bye.
Bye.